Hi, I'm Abigail Tyrrell from Raven Dreams Luxury Plus Size Lingerie, and this is Tips and Tricks. When you know you're going to be matching plaids, stripes, any kind of pattern, or positioning a logo or an icon of some sort in fabric, the best thing to do is to take your pattern and trace it onto acetate and then cut it out. You can see here that I've done just that. I've taken my pattern pieces, I've cut them apart, and I've actually put every line onto the acetate with an indelible marker. That's really important. You don't want to use pen, you don't want to use pencil. You want to make sure you've got a Sharpie there, because if you spill something onto it and that ink then transfers to your fabric, you're going to want to kick yourself. Recently, a friend dropped a whole pile of old t-shirts that they no longer wanted into my lap. And so, of course, I thought, what am I going to do with them? So for this tutorial, we're going to take these t-shirts, which often have a bunch of logos or funny icons on front, and we're going to turn them into knickers. And here with the acetate, I can position the pattern and see where I can get the best fit for the front piece, for the front panel. And I can also do the same for the back, but with some of the logos, you might want to sit them off to the side, in the center. You can see whether it fits better on a mid-rise or hipster pattern, and you can really just have some fun and play around with it. What I've decided to go with is a Battlestar Galactica t-shirt. Once you've decided how you're going to use your t-shirt, lay out your pieces as per normal and cut it out. And having used the acetate, I was able to position the best bits of the t-shirt to go in the areas on the panties that will look the most fun. To sew together the panties, what you want to do is to put the right sides of the front gusset together, and then on the inside, the right side to the wrong side of the panties, so that when you sew them, they'll come up and then it will form an inside invisible seam. Now, when you put your panties together, the first thing I do is to tack them. So on the machine, I'll set the machine to a 2.8 or a 3.0 on a straight stitch, and I will just tack them together, making sure that everything fits well. Next, I'll take it to my serger. If you don't have a serger, you're going to want to use a zigzag for that and make it fairly small and fairly tight. Now with the back seam, you're going to want to do the same with the front, but with the back, you're going to turn it over. Then it's going to look a little bit strange and twisty. And for that, you really want to go and take a look at my other video tutorial, which is called The Fucking Gusset. And that's really going to give you tell you what to do in a lot more detail. But here it is, and turn it inside out, and suddenly you have hidden seams on a gusset. Once you have done your invisible seams on your gusset, what you're going to want to do is trim all the extra threads, and if you have anything that doesn't look like a smooth line at the corners where the seams match, just trim them off for the next stage, which is putting on the elastic. Here I'm using fold over elastic. It makes a very nice neat edge very quickly. So I use a 3-step zigzag, and I set it to usually about 2.5 so that it's the same stitch width as the elastic itself. Now when you start it, you want to make sure that you hold the fabric down flat, that the fabric doesn't stretch at all. And what you want to do with your other hand is to stretch the elastic lightly as you sew it through. You don't really need to pin it, just put some tension on the elastic and let it run through the machine. Sew along each leg seam of the knickers first. For the side seams, what I do is I match up the two pieces of folding elastic on the leg seam very, very closely, and I pin it just inside on the fabric itself, close together. And then what I'll do is I'll tack that seam together at the bottom really firmly. It's not going to do anything about stretching of the underwear or anything, but having that nice tack there will mean that when you've sewn up the seam, that elastic, when you open it up, will be a perfect match. And sometimes with your either sewing machine or with your serger, it can push those bottom bits apart and make it look really uneven, or it'll be a step. So really tack it very well on a straight stitch, and then take it to your serger or do your zigzag on top of it. Starting the waistband, what you want to do is to cut your fold over elastic at a 45-degree angle. And you'll want to start with the V shape that is pointing outwards on your side seam. Because what's going to happen is when you come around the other end, you're going to cut it again at a 45-degree angle so that it looks like it's an arrow or a point. And as you can see on this image here, they're going to match together really well so that you don't have the bulk of one piece of elastic sitting on top of another, or missing off by riding up a bit. So this is a really good way to make sure that you don't have any bulk and that your elastic fits together perfectly at your waistband. And we're done. Here we have the front, the side, and the back of a hipster pair of panties with having recycled a t-shirt. That's fun, it's absolutely delightful, and it's ready to go. What I love about these knickers is that they aren't granny pants. They're sexy, they're fun, they are cheeky. They aren't meant to be those things that you wear when I don't know, because I just don't wear them anymore. So enjoy these knickers. Have fun in them, have fun making them, and enjoy saving the planet at the same time. That's all for now.